Say what needs to be said. Mr. Pick Six back with another episode. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Let me talk about my weekend first. If y'all ain't know, if y'all ain't here, y'all ain't see the flyer. We had the first annual Asante Samuel Football Classic at the Asante Samuel Complex at my high school, Boyd Anderson High School. Let me tell you, it was amazing. You know, they put on a good show for your boy, man. Had me feeling amazing. It was Boyd Anderson High School versus Ely High School. And, you know, they did the mural, they did the picture, they painted the field, all those good things, the bells and whistles, and, you know, touched my heart, man. And I just had to give a shout out to the BA staff, to BA family, man. Y'all did an amazing job, man. Y'all touched my heart, and I can't thank y'all enough, man. Can't send nothing but gratitude and love to y'all, man. So shout out to the BA crew, right? Now, week one, like I say, week one is always the craziest week in the NFL. It's so unpredictable. Games go up and down, left and right. You know, fumbles this and punt returns this. It's very unpredictable. It's the first game. You know, they got to iron out all the bells and whistles and the wrinkles in the teams and stuff like that. So it's a fun week to watch because it's kind of unpredictable. So, man, let's talk about one of the early matchups that was going on. We talk about 49ers versus the Steelers. And 49ers versus Steelers, let me tell you, Brock Purdy, he is very impressive out there. Brock Purdy look like he is ready to lead this team to potentially a Super Bowl. Definitely deep in the playoffs, because they already were going deep in the playoffs, but definitely a Super Bowl. If he can play like that and he can maintain that team and be the quarterback that knows how to control the team and the tempo the way he did, and the ball possession with the defense they have and the way they play defense and fly around, that's all you got to do. That's all you need. You don't need the best quarterback, the top quarterback in the league. You just need a Brock Purdy, right? Brock Purdy, let me tell you, he was 19 for 29, 220 yards. I think he had, two touchdowns and no interceptions, if I got it right. And let me tell you another special thing, another bright spot I think I found that, you know, you might not have realized. He might have found his favorite target with Brandon Ayuk. You know what I'm Brandon Ayuk? He had 8 receptions for 129 yards and 2 TDs himself. So Brock, man, let me tell you, Brock ready to do his thing. He ready to lead this team to glory. It was a show. It was how supposed to get it done. You're supposed to go out there and win the game, lead your team to victory. But the score was 30-7. 30-7, man. That was impressive. Putting those points, defense holding them out, and you know, Brock Purdy got a chance to do something special. 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant. 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant, just a year ago, has a chance to lead this team to a Super Bowl. Now, if you ain't see what a year can do for a player, man, listen, man, watch out for them. If everything goes smooth, you know, barring injury, you know how everybody know it go through injuries in the NFL. Watch out for Brock Purdy and the 49ers. Now, on the other hand, you know, Pittsburgh Steelers, Kenny Pickett. High expectations for Kenny Pickett. You know, top draft pick, first round pick for the Steelers. And what are you going out there and doing? Well, 7 points, barely 7 points. Now, Pittsburgh, great defense, good defense, always known for a good defense, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers. But Kenny Pickett, he is not the answer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to tell you that right now. Kenny Pickett is not the answer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, guys is open. Guys is creating space from the defenders, and he's just not hitting the guys. He's not the word efficient like I had to use for quarterbacks. He's not delivering the ball how it needs to be delivered, when it needs to be delivered, where it needs to be delivered. It's just as simple as that. I mean, Kenny Pickett, what was his stats? 31 for 46, 232 yards, a 68.4 rating. He was 31 for 46, throwing the ball all over the place, man, and really not getting it done. Basically, taking sacks, not being quick with the ball to get it out your hand, and just basically not making the plays, hitting the receivers like he's supposed to. And, you know, it didn't look good. So I don't know what the expectations in that division that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have. Because right now you're looking like you're going to be last, because that's a tough division. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, it might be you are the Cincinnati Bengals. You got the Cleveland Browns, and then you got the Ravens. So, the Bengals ain't look so good, but I'm sure they're going to look better than the Steelers when it's time for them to play each other. But, man, like I said, the Steelers, we gotta get it right, man. You gotta get it right. Gotta figure that out with Pickett. Or Pickett, man, I don't know what to say, man. They're gonna have to figure that out with you. But Patrick Peterson, man, let's talk about Patrick Peterson. Pat P the whole time, Pat P, man. Pat P said he guaranteed he was gonna get an interception off of Brock Purdy, right? All right. He said, I got some keys and some tips, man, formations and stuff, and he give away some things, and I'm gonna get an interception on him, right? I wasn't never the shit talker like that, and I didn't have the heart and the guts to make a bold prediction like that. But I like when people go out there and make predictions, such as himself, Pat P, the hometown homie, made the prediction, say he was going to intercept. I like that, man. It's good entertainment for the game, and I like that he wasn't saying like, the receiver, you ain't catching nothing because the receiver don't got the ball. He calls out the quarterback and say, I'm gonna pick off the quarterback because that's who got the ball. All the other stuff is just hype, but I'm gonna get that ball. Imagine, whoever you throwing the ball at, if it's on me, I'm coming to get that ball. Now, he didn't get the ball. He didn't intercept the ball, but he had some good opportunities, right? He had one play on Kittle. He had two hands on it, came inside, almost had it. I was rooting for him, man, and I wished he would have got an interception so I could have talked some cash money shit for him on his show for him. But, man, keep it going, man. Keep having that confidence. Pat P, man, keep feeling that way. And, man, it's just having fun, man. Nobody take anything personal. Just go out there and then, one day you're going to make that prediction. It's going to happen. That's how it go in life, right? That's how it go. And let's talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. What is going on with the Cincinnati Bengals? Joe Burrows and the Cincinnati Bengals, what they had, let me look it up real quick. They lost 24-3 to the Cleveland Browns. It's 24-3 to the Cleveland Browns. Joe Burrows was 14 for 31 for 82 yards and 0 touchdowns. What is going on with Joe Burrows and the Cincinnati Bengals? Because this is not like them, and this is totally uncharacteristic. Now, it's a couple things going in my mind as I'm watching the game and evaluating everything and analyzing everything. It's like, is this Joe Burrows or was it Cleveland Browns defense that had a lot to do with this? And I feel like it was a lot of Cleveland Brown defense. Yeah, they was out of sync. It didn't look like their usual self. Looked like they maybe need some more practice, taking things for granted and I don't know, all those things. But it just looked like Cleveland Brown defense is coming to play some ball. And they came to play some serious ball. They was getting some pressure on them, not making it smooth and easy. His timing was off. And Jamar Chase just wasn't making the plays that they used to making. And when you take those things away from his two big targets, Higgins and Chase, I think that in itself makes it hard for Joe Burrows because he's used to throwing the ball up to Chase a lot too, a big, strong, fast guy. And he wasn't able to do that. And, they had the clamps on them guys, and Joe Burrows he just didn't look like himself, right? He looked confused. Maybe he was mentally dealing with the injury in his head, but shout out to Cleveland Browns, right? Shout out to Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson, the resurgence of Deshaun Watson, right? Who expected that? Did y'all expect that? Let me tell you, Deshaun Watson is a winner. Right? He had like 154 yards passing, couple TDs, but the difference is he is making the plays when it's time to win the game. That's what you don't understand as a quarterback. Sometimes it might not be all flashy and have all the yards, but he is making the plays to win the game. Right? And he got Nick Chubb with him, had over 100 yards. That duo right there, Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb, that is a duo to be reckoned with coming up in the future, right? It's like you got two running backs, and one of your running backs can throw the ball and he can throw it on a dime, and he can throw it on the run 50, 60, 70 yards, right? So he's a weapon, and he's going to be a winner. He was on a team that didn't possess the winning environment, but now you check him out now, you're going to see the difference, right? It's all about your environment, right? And Nick Chubb, the defense, Deshaun Watson, there's something to watch out for. That division, I said before, like all the divisions hard, but that's a tough division. It's known for defense over there with the Ravens, the Bengals, and Pittsburgh. So It's gonna be tough to do, but I know he's ready for it. Right? Hey, did y'all see Bijan Robinson first touchdown? I think it was the 10th pick from the Texas University that played for the Falcons. Man, that kid got some talent, boy. He is going to definitely help Atlanta Falcons be successful for now and in the near future. When they keep putting those final pieces to play together for the Falcons, they was able to get that victory. Man, that kid is very talented. That stop and go for that first touchdown was impressive, man. I just had to give him a shout out because, man, I wanted everybody to see that because he did his thing on that play right there. And Shedeur Sanders, man, I got to tell y'all, Shedeur Sanders and Coach Prime. Shedeur Sanders is the real deal. Let me tell you, I know a real deal quarterback when I see one, and he is the real deal. I mean, he is a winner. He has what it takes. He can throw the ball left, right. He can feel pressure coming. He knows when to move out of pocket. He has that touch and accuracy. He has that demeanor of a quarterback and a winner. He has the weapons around. He knows what his weapons are, and he uses them wisely. Let me tell you, if you had doubt about Coach Prime, Shedeur Sanders, and Stafford Ford, you better change your mind, right? Because it's not a question about last year. Did Coach Prime change the environment, the program? He already done that. That program has changed. It's over with. This is a new program. The answer and the question now is, are they going to be a championship team? Or will they go to the playoffs? Will they go to the championship? And they got a tough game coming up. The latter end of their schedule is tough. And coming up first is going to be the Oregon Ducks. That's who they got to play, the Oregon Ducks, right? And for me, let me tell you what I feel about the Oregon Ducks, right? This is going to be a talent-on-talent game. This is when it's going to come out for Coach Prime to establish himself as one of the premier coaches in college football. You got top talent going against each other. And you got two big colleges on a national stage going at each other. So that's when, I want to see what the coach is going to do and how they're going to handle this situation, because that's what I think is going to come down to, right? And for what else, what I see in Colorado Buffs, yeah, Coach Prime, he recruited a lot of talent, over 70 players brought in, right? Talent everywhere. But Coach Prime is a skilled player. Now on that defense, we got to get that defense together. We got to get the front four on the defense. We all see we can't be giving up these many points, and we got to get a little better at tackling. So that's the one issue that I see that may hold Colorado back a little bit. There ain't no question about him and changing this program. The question is, how far will he go now and succeed in the playoffs and in college football? That's what the question is for Coach Prime. Like I said, the test will be coming up against the Oregon Ducks. And that's when we will see what the coaches are made of. Because like I say, Shedeur Sanders, he the real deal. Ain't no question about him. He definitely moved himself up in the top 10 pick and potentially a Heisman in the Heisman race. Because let me tell you, 2 games, over 900 yards in any level. You throw for 900 yards in 2 games, high school, Division I, Division II, Division III, that is impressive. And that's what that young man did, man. There's nothing you can do, say, take away from that. He is him, right? Anytime, any situation, he ready, man. He coming out. They started off shaking, and they bounced back. And they continue to bounce back. And, like I say, I can't wait to see that big matchup against Colorado, against Oregon Ducks. And I want to see Shedeur Sanders answer and keep answering, right? And Coco Gauff. Y'all don't know the 19-year-old phenom, tennis star? Man, she just won the U.S. Open, man. I just got to give her a shout out and express some gratitude towards her and support. She's 19 years old, and she just won the U.S. Open against Arena Sabalenka, right? And, this is the next Venus and Serena Williams. So we got to support. We got to watch. She did amazing. And only one part I didn't like about, watching the interviews and stuff like that and watching the match. The young lady, Arena Sabalenka, she it's like she gave Coco a credit, but it's like she didn't want to give her too much credit and just, put it all on herself, like you kind of should do. And she was just saying like everything was unforced errors, unforced this. No, man, you made that error because she kind of forced you to make the error. You bringing heat, she bringing heat. So it's like, I sensed a little shot in here and there, but Like I said, if y'all ain't see, 19-year-old Coco Gauff wins the U.S. Open. And I think Serena won it at 17 or something like that. But yeah, man, those tennis players is amazing. The game's amazing. If y'all don't watch tennis, it's electrifying out there. There's some celebrities out there. Who all was out there? We had Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler. Name a few people out there supporting the young lady. Her whole family was out there, but I think she won 2 matches, two out of the 3 sets. She didn't just completely dominate. You know what I mean? And Arena won 1 set. So shout out to Coco for doing her thing and representing and keep inspiring, man. Keep inspiring. That's what we're here to do, man. In the world, keep inspiring and keep doing our thing. All right. Let's see, man. Is I missing anything for y'all? No, man. That's it. That's it for the day. I'll check back in with y'all, man. Y'all likes, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, like a friend, tell a friend, share a friend, say what needs to be said. Mike Williams, who was reported to have passed away by multiple media outlets, is alive and recovering after having life support removed via New York Post. Now, man, I just wanted to bring that up about Mike Williams and everybody's saying he passed away. And Mike Williams, a receiver, played for the Bills and the Bucks. Had a short career, but as soon as you get a word that somebody's passed or somebody's gone and passed away, like everybody's so quick to jump on it and report it so fast, whether they're right or wrong. And death is so serious. Everybody want these likes and hits and that how you think that had to make his family feel hearing all these reports and seeing all these reports that their loved one is dead and he's not dead, right? It's like, just slow down and back up a little bit and just take a moment before you want to post these serious things, because the guy is alive and recovering. And just to put that out there, it just has to be such a terrible feeling for him, let alone his family. You know what I mean? Like, that had to be terrible. Like, so I hope people learn from that situation and don't try to be so fast to post about bad situations and death, of course, especially death, because, that's the worst of the worst. Just verify things and see before you do your homework a little bit. Do a little bit more research before you be quick to post it, right? So that's Mike Williams, man. A little sad story. He went through an construction accident, and he's recovering. So he's doing better. He's not passed away. He's not gone. He's still here with us, all right? Now let me touch on this Thursday night football Detroit Lions versus Chiefs game, right? I'm going to give my opinion. Everybody giving their opinion and talking about it, and, let me just go on and say it and put it out there. Now, I'm not sold on the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I said it. I said it. They're getting all the praise and all that, but I'm not sold on the Detroit Lions. I said it, right? First of all, first and foremost, I'm going to give the Detroit Lions their credit. Yes, they deserve the credit for beating Kansas City butt. They beat Kansas City butt, whooped them up and down the field, right? But the bright spot for the Detroit Lions that I did like, that I will say, okay, this is pretty impressive. The secondary, led by C.J. Gardner, the emotional big homie leader. If things ain't going right, he probably the one gonna huddle them up, get the team together, and talk about it. The secondary looking like they gel together, look like they're having fun together, look like they know how to play together, right? That's the bright spot for me in the Detroit Lions, the secondary, right? But let's just be honest. Be honest. Kansas City Chiefs beat themselves. Patrick Mahomes did what he's supposed to do. Everybody else, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. The receivers, you talked about it, they're dropping the ball everywhere, right? And the touchdown, the interceptions for touchdown, this is why I say I'm not sold. Yes, Detroit Lions make the play, but that's how I put it. Detroit Lions made the play, but Kansas City gave you that play. And yes, this happens during games, right? But like Coach Reed said it himself, this is very uncharacteristic of any of his teams to drop this many balls, let alone to the opposing team to catch interceptions and run them back for the touchdown. So, like, if they play it again, it would be a total different story. Guys was open, wide open. Mahomes is hitting them right in the hands, and everybody's dropping the ball. So what I'm saying is, you got a little luck involved with games sometimes, and then you got a little skill involved. I need to see more skills when it comes to winning these games for the Detroit Lions, right? I want to see more skill plays just happen that's making them contribute and win to the game, right? Not lucky tip balls. Yeah, that's a part of the game. Like I said, I know I ain't taking nothing away from that situation. But to make me a believer, that's what I want to see. And they led by Coach Dan Campbell, who is a defensive coach, which seems like a pretty good heck of a head coach to me. You know, what it looked like from the outside looking in. What I mean by a heck of a head coach is I like defensive head coaches. You know, a guy that's going to have their team ready to be rough and tough, ready to go to battle, ready to go to war anywhere in the world at any time. And that's who you got with Coach Dan Campbell. He is going to have his team ready to play, ready to knock somebody's head off. And you can see that. They out there flying around and making plays, right? And it was one situation in the game, right, that set the tempo. And this is what you got to understand when you defending Super Bowl champs. Everybody's gunning for you, right? Everybody wants your head. They want to beat you because if they beat you, it kind of makes them feel like they're the Super Bowl champion, especially if they're the first one to beat you. You know, Dan Campbell came into that game coming to win, ready for war in any situation. What is the first, second series? Fake punt at Detroit Lions own, what is 20, something like that, 20, 30, 40, something like that. You know, in their red zone area. Now, if that ain't some guts, you tell me. Him and the special teams coordinator decided that they wanted to do a fake punt. And it ain't too much you can see that's going to give you a tip if you can make it or not, because you only could watch film from last year. And they went for it and got it. That set the tempo. That made KC realize they in the game that they didn't expect to be in, because they're the Super Bowl champs. You understand? That's their mindset. So now they're in a game that they don't really expect to be in. It's a fight. So I'm thinking that caught them off guard a little bit. And like I said, you can tell by their body language. You know, I was looking looking at their body language and the things they expected wasn't going how they expected. And they could see it in their body language, where they was moving around, especially when things weren't going right. And like for Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid was Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes. The play calling was the play calling like Andy Reid does. Andy Reid goes out, he draws up all these explosive plays, these creative plays, and they're great plays. But what I don't like about it, and this is what happens with teams that throw the ball a lot, when you throw the ball so much, it creates inconsistency. So that's what happens. Sometimes you have a better percentage handing the ball off than throwing the ball and trying to catch it. So that's what kind of taking place when things ain't going right for Kansas City. It's more inconsistency because they're throwing the ball. So they threw the ball a lot, and now they dropped the ball. Now you're dropping the ball. Now you have inconsistent plays. Now the time is stopped. This is something I always vouch for or try to recommend for Coach Reid. And you know, they like, this is their toy. This is their toy, you know, and this is their thing. So they like their plays, and they like to do what they like to do. They find statistics, they do homework, and says what works, right? So but in my opinion, like I said, if Andy Reid ran the ball a little more, man, I think his teams would be that much better. Now, he has an incredible quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, so, you know, he's able to get away with a little more than he was in the past, because this guy is so creative and such a talent. So, you know, he kind of makes anything happen. But like I said, get a little more balanced attack, get a little more ball possession, control the time a little better. Man, Andy Reid be unstoppable for the next 5 to 10 years. And now, you know, what you think gonna happen with Patrick Mahomes? When Travis Kelce come back, he might get the first 10 targets right off the rip. If he was there that past Thursday night football game, man, he would have probably said, forget everybody else, man. I'm throwing to Travis Kelce, man. I'm tired of y'all dropping the ball, and I'm gonna throw the ball to who I can depend on, right? Like I said, he was creative and still making plays, putting it on the money, but you know, they just wasn't making plays. Did Travis Kelce have an effect on the game? Yes, obviously, because they was dropping the balls. Did Chris Jones have an effect on the game? They didn't have any sacks. You know, what, they had 2 sacks or something like that? Yeah, and you know, they got good pressure. So we don't know. You know, you gotta feel like he'll make a difference if he was there. But, and that's another thing too. Like it probably had to feel a little crazy for them to see your player in the stadium and you feeling like, I want you to go to war with me. I'm ready to go to war, but you're here in a dispute. So, sometimes you got to understand it's a business, but I know it just had to feel a little crazy because if I'm me personally, I'm a cornerback. I'm like, man, get on the field, bro. Like, I need you out here. If the more pressure you get, the easier it is for me to make interceptions and things like that. So, I wonder if if they had those feelings and whatnot and what have you. But just having them there and watching him in the stands was, it was a little awkward. But, it is what it is. And till next time. Say what needs to be said. Mr. Pick 6, I'm out.